In the twilight between worlds, when silence weighs upon your chest, your consciousness calls out for protection, discernment, and power. You did not find this temple of knowledge by chance. Cecilia, Hermes, Paracelsus, all would say, the heavens observe every step of those who seek inner freedom. Your soul, in this life or in past lives, has already brushed against the tentacles of psychological domination. Perhaps you feel a restlessness. How is it possible that, even today, millions succumb to dark leaders, paralyzing ideas, and invisible systems of control? This message has reached you because destiny whispers. It is time to open your eyes, purify your will, and strengthen your mental shield. Here, you will receive not only a map of the abysses, but also the keys to escape, so that you are never enslaved or used as an instrument of someone else's dominion. Nothing that is about to be revealed here belongs to the realm of ordinary books or words worn thin by superficiality. This is the hidden path of the guardians of free will, the supreme secret among secrets, passed down only in the most reserved chambers of the oldest schools, disguised in legends, whispered in the prophets' psalms, encoded in myths that have endured for millennia. The knowledge flowing through this rite was forged to withstand tyranny, manipulation, and coercion, safeguarding those who dare to walk beyond the herd. Here, you will not only hear about the masks and symptoms of mental manipulation, but the hidden mechanisms that operate beneath the surface, the entangling techniques, emotional hooks, linguistic games, and the bonds of domination that insinuate themselves into even the most innocent of speeches. But there is more. Above all, here are revealed the ancient rituals of self-healing and psychic protection, practices sanctified by the initiates to seal the energetic field, restore inner autonomy, and reconstitute the sovereignty of your own will. This knowledge is not meant to forge captives, but to free spirits. No one, on this journey, will be a prisoner. Here, each participant is invited to recognize themselves as an initiate, someone capable of being reborn time and again, even under the silent siege of the psychic and emotional bombardment that dominates the modern world. If you allow your perception to expand, you will not only slip out of the chains of domination, you will learn to see the subtle manipulation in governmental speeches, in the messages of the media, in the disguised promises of cults, and perhaps most of all, in the invisible bonds formed within your own family circles. This is not a call to retreat, but to awaken. Now, it is time to remember who you are and to reclaim command of your spirit, word by word, choice by choice. Few, very few, in truth, receive this deep summons. The crowd roams as sleepwalkers, hypnotized by artificial lights, anesthetized by digital chants, lost amid screens and empty promises, absorbing without question the ready-chewed dogmas served up as indisputable truth. Yet today, something subtle and powerful has awakened you to a calling that echoes beyond the layers of habit, a call to self-mastery. Here, on this threshold of shadows and symbols, we recognize that on the hermetic path, we are not merely apprentices, but healers of ourselves and relentless sentinels of that which is most sacred, inner sovereignty. What you are about to hear has never been offered to the lion's mouth of empires, nor to the clamor of charlatans' marketplaces. This is the inheritance of those who have sworn to wield knowledge as sword and shield, capable of strengthening, protecting, never subjugating or corrupting. Each secret, each teaching, has been handed down as sacred fire, from eye to eye, sealed by silent oaths, reserved for those who have chosen to be a beacon in the night for those who are lost. You are part of the Brotherhood of the Lucid, a discreet and scattered lineage that, for ages, has traversed cultures, invisible to the inattentive but ever-present wherever the invisible dragons of manipulation raise their heads. Against them, we do not wield weapons, but living words and true antidotes, transparent remedies served in the murky chalice of the world's illusions. In this silent ritual, recognize, your participation is no accident, but proof of a genuine restlessness beneath your skin, a rejection of the numbness of the masses, and an inextinguishable thirst for clarity. In the dark, initiates recognize each other by the brightness of their gaze, and it is that gaze which now connects you to the secret thread of those who dare to confront the shadows within themselves and in others. Prepare yourself to receive not only information, but transformation. Embrace your condition as a sentinel, one who not only guards their own spirit, but quietly lights the way through the dark paths for those still awaiting the dawn of self-mastery. From the submerged vales of Atlantis to the starlit nights of the priestesses of the Nile, rituals of manipulation and mind control have been the invisible foundations of many forgotten empires. In ancient Egypt, the word hekau did not just mean magic, it was the very power of the word, used by sages and kings to heal or to enslave. In classical Greece, sophists trained as warriors of discourse, swaying crowds and twisting thoughts with the sheer force of rhetoric. In the heights of Tibet, monks devoted their lives to detecting and dissolving mental trances, artifices cast by sorcerers, leaders, and invaders. In medieval Europe, black grimoires catalogued instructions for implanting phobias, false memories, or blind devotion in fragile minds. In the 20th century, ancient occult techniques acquired a scientific veneer and became weapons wielded by totalitarian regimes and obscure cults. Brainwashing, gaslighting, propaganda, psychoprogramming, old darkness in new disguises. But also, throughout the ages, initiatory societies have preserved antidotes and counterspells, the clear observation of hermetic magicians, the cleansing mantras of yogis, the presence exercises of Sufi masters, and the protective pacts of alchemists. Each lineage has offered a spark of liberation and psychic defense to those willing to see beyond appearances. Right now, you sit between two fires. On one side, forces seeking to mold your mind, on the other, knowledge that enables defense and liberation. Here, all the arts, from both sides, will be unveiled so that you may awaken beyond the role of victim, becoming the guardian of your own mind and a beacon for others. If you feel that your time has come to learn what is never taught to the masses, stay with me on this journey. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this knowledge. You will become the foundation for the awakening of many. Now choose which side of history you intend to walk, the one who sleeps, or the one who finally awakens. Techniques of mind manipulation, whether on a small or vast scale, always follow 5 hidden axes. Concentrate. By recognizing them, you are already beginning to dissolve their effects. First law, attack on identity. Separating someone from their own references of who they are. Change of name, isolation from family, repetition of insults, imposition of new beliefs. Second law, bombardment of polarized information. An excess of messages, slogans, headlines, and contradictory orders that induce mental fatigue, making the person dependent on the manipulator's guidance. Third law, alternation between fear and comfort. Creation of panic followed by promises of relief, only I can save you. A classic in cults, totalitarian regimes, and abusive relationships. Fourth law, control of social circles. Imposing a us versus them mentality, demonizing those who think differently. Cutting emotional ties until only the dominant group remains as a reference. Fifth law, neurological anchoring. Repetition of phrases, gestures, music, or symbols until the mind is conditioned to automatic responses, triggers, subconscious programming. And the great secret weapon. Programming through guilt. You can't survive without me, you don't deserve to be happy, without obedience, you are dangerous. These are the 5 pillars of all mind domination. Each, once recognized, can be dissolved with the appropriate antidote. Some of the most insidious tricks include gaslighting, systematically distorting the victim's perception, making them doubt their own memory, clarity, and feelings. Phrases like, "you're exaggerating," "that never happened," or "you misunderstood," are used to gradually erode the recipient's self-confidence. Messianic promises. The manipulator presents himself as the only savior, whether politician, pastor, guru, boss, or even a family member. He demands blind devotion, places himself above criticism, and cultivates total dependence under the disguise of care. Gradual enclosure, isolation from the world happens slowly. The manipulator undermines old hobbies, rewrites beliefs, interferes with the victim's schedule, and even transforms their language. Little by little, all that remains is his influence and presence, occupying every space within the self. Never forget, real manipulation is not a sudden blow, it is the art of the gradual. Dependence is built subtly and progressively, exploiting cracks left by longing, loneliness, and the desire to belong. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever witnessed or identified signs of manipulation, subtle or explicit, in your life or around you? Comment with the word "Sentinel" below. In this way, we'll know that you are alert, awake, and ready to protect your mind, or to help illuminate others within this labyrinth of hidden influences. Your experience could be the key to awakening someone else. Look around you. How many times have you seen someone change their convictions, appearance, or even their voice, just to please a group or toxic partner? How many friends have distanced themselves after becoming involved with domineering ideologies, charismatic gurus, or narcissistic bosses? Have you ever felt, upon reading headlines or seeing advertisements, a discomfort? This feels like collective hypnosis. At work, in the family, and even on social media, every excess of polarization, fear, or guilt can be a symptom of subtle manipulation. If you have lived through, or witnessed, any of these mechanisms, share your story in the comments. Many wake from this trance only after hearing others' stories. Your experience could save someone who feels alone. Psychology has confirmed. Classic experiments by Milgram and Stanley, and the analyses of Robert Cialdini in Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, showed our natural tendency to obey authority and follow the group. In other words, the techniques used by regimes, cults, and propaganda are, in fact, effective. But neuroscience shows that attention, critical thinking, and self-awareness rituals can completely reprogram the brain. Ancient religions have always recommended protective mantras, periodic retreats, support circles, and continuous study as ways to maintain mental sovereignty. Today, science reveals daily meditation can decrease the influence of indoctrinators by up to 45%. Daily reflective writing can reverse years of brainwashing. Connection with critical groups speeds up mental deprogramming. Now receive your hermetic toolbox for defense and liberation. Ritual of the Sacred Name. Rewrite your story daily in 10 lines, affirming who you are beyond labels, groups, or traumas. Mental shield of attention. When overwhelmed by too much information, take a deep breath, switch off the screens, and repeat several times, "I choose what remains within me." In emotional situations, ask yourself, does this align with my essence? Network of reflection. Seek out a neutral person, a friend, therapist, mentor. Share your doubts and perceptions, listen to feedback. Deprogramming only progresses when multiple voices are involved. Rapid depolarization. When extreme ideas arise, there is only one way, the other is the enemy. Write down 3 contrary arguments and meditate on the relativity of beliefs. Breaking triggers. Identify slogans, songs, images, or recurring phrases associated with the manipulator. Every time they appear, breathe, visualize a golden light protecting your head, and repeat. My mind is my fortress. I remain free, I remain whole. Hermetic retreat exercise. Take one day a week away from groups, screens, or dominant voices. Use this time to free your mind, recover vision, and practice silence. In chosen solitude, the veil is lifted. Touch your roots. Reconnect with family, old friends, hobbies. Everything that was denied by the manipulative circle should be gradually reclaimed. Having reached the end of this disenchantment ritual, a new pulse stirs within you. You have passed through 10 portals, recognized shadows, learned names, inherited ancestral defenses. If this message brought you light, like this video now, this is a symbol that you have awakened to your freedom. If you know someone enslaved by mind control, share the video. A single gesture can be another soul's lifeline. Subscribe to the channel. Here each new content is initiation, protection, a vital shield amid the madness of the collective. Share in the comments if you have lived, seen, or been saved from mind manipulation. Your story, your words, can be a beam of light in someone else's night of uncertainty. Remember, the initiate never raises weapons for oppression. He offers antidotes for liberation. Return whenever you need protection, strength, or clarity. The path is yours. Free, invulnerable, luminous. Now and always.